Okay. Wait. Does free not let you share a video anymore? What the hell's going on?
I don't know.
No! I can't do my intro. This used to all be free.
You can just sing it, just ad lib.
No! I can't do any of my little video clips. Damn it. That's... It's homosexual. That's so weird. I
Yeah, it
don't know the
sucks if
last
they
time I've
did.
done a stream without an intro. Okay. Alright, I guess. Well, welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, hey.
Awkward intro. What's going on, guys? We have two comics that we wanted to discuss. Band of the Crow that recently just got into people's hands by Arvid Nelson. And also, I didn't want to just do one review for one comic, so I also threw in the Lucent, the first book by Michael Bancroft, which is Walking Dream. So, we got a
Waking
nice
dream.
mix of... What?
Waking dream.
Waking. Is it waking? I can't, I am dyslexic, man.
Walking dream would be like sleepwalking.
Did I
or
put
something.
Walking Dream in the title? No, I didn't. Okay.
I don't know. I did not check that actually.
Oh, I definitely put it on Twitter, though.
That's fine. That's even better.
Yeah.
It's just as the Lucent. We're good.
Anyways, yeah, I feel like that's a good mix because it's like, epic fantasy, and then the Lucent's kind of sci-fi, right? I would probably say that. But yeah, we're here to talk about the comics. We're here to review comics, and that's what we're going to do. So, Evely, well, what's the little rundown we got for the Band of the Crow?
For the Band of the Crow, as you said, it's a story by Arvid Nelson and line art and coloring by Oren. Just Oren is the only name credited there. And the summary from the website is, "The year of the goddess 924. Frost giants have trampled the world beneath their feet. The last remnants of man cling to life, fighting back with the holy art of sorcery." That's it.
Nice, thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
That covers it. So, as many people probably, I had the first look of it, which is basically the first half of this comic. So we already went into this knowing a good bit of what we were going to get. But yeah, I mean, the first thing I got to note, and this is probably the only campaign that I went for the top tier, because it's just like,
Nice.
dude, well, he's just giving you such a bang for your buck, and he kind of showed that with his first look campaign as well. But yeah, you get this nice soft cover book, and one thing that I noted too is because it's got this little flap, right, that you usually see on like hardcovers. I'm like, oh man, I hate that, right? And I usually hate it because there's usually nothing under, right? It's usually like, this is the cover. There's actually nothing in there, but nah, this is just a protective thing. So it's like, okay, I like that.
Well,
yeah.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, so that's doable.
Yeah, their packaging game over there is S tier. Like all the stuff they're putting out, the boxing has their logo printed on it, the stickers and all the little, just everything. It's not just the typical, was it the Gemini protector box you usually get? It's like their own printed boxes, and they really tried to do a good job with it.
I was kind of hoping there'd be like a different box for every campaign. That'd be a little bit much, but
maybe down the road.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, as far as campaigns go alone, I mean, like, not even judging the book or anything, like, let's pretend like it's a shit book or whatever. It's just like, man, he's really going all out. Like, again, like that protective cover that I mentioned, I'm like, you didn't need to do that.
Right.
Like, what do you, but hey, man, that shows care to the customer. So, getting to you made a really brief summary of the story.
I took it straight from their page. I didn't want to, do my own write-up and try to make it. I just took it verbatim. If they're pitching it that way, and if that pitch is good enough to move their books, then I think it's good enough for here.
Okay.
You're not gonna like Bancroft's either. His is like one sentence. So just a heads up.
Great, because I was trying to go loose on my notes, and I'm like, oh, great, my retard memory. So it starts off, I'm trying to go scene by scene, right? So the first scene we have, well, first of all, let's talk about the first couple pages, where it does like a little bit of lore thing, which is very common in your fantasy stuff to cover a little bit of lore. I can't play video clips. Damn it, Bavon's here.
What's going on, guys?
Stupid face
Hey,
away. What's up, man?
We're
talking the Band of the Crow, and right now you're messing with our tempo right now. So
yeah, well, I don't know why you couldn't wait like 5 minutes.
Because I didn't know it would be just 5 minutes. Whatever. Anyways,
I asked you.
We have an audience, Vaughn. If you could be respectful to the audience,
yeah.
And we're reviewing a book, so just get in line with it. All right. So we open up with the like kind of a lore dump, right? And that's very common with epic fantasy. But man, it's done. I don't know if you can if you could show one of the pages. It's done in this like classic literature like lettering that you would see in like old novel like picture stuff. You know what I mean? Kind of get what I'm. It'd be easier for the show, but.
No, I agree, and it's also done in 4 images with it's so brief, but it's covers so much ground. It tells you everything you need to know without getting into every little detail. It tells you everything you need in just like 4 images with like a few sentences. That's it. It's such a I've seen so many dumps from like with the fantasy stuff. That's why I never gotten super into fantasy. Where it's like, and these were these tribe, and they get, and it's like it goes in for like, and I'm like, I don't care. And this one, what I liked, because I had read the preview way back then, and then I read it again last night, and I'm like, oh my god, it just feels like, oh, that's so easy compared to so much fantasy stuff. Where I'm like, it's like, oh my god, so good. So
it's got like that classical storybook setup too, where you have the gilded letter at the top left. And I'm so not used to reading those that I was reading just the text that was actually handwritten and skipping the first letter. I'm like, this guy's name is Julian? Oh, that's Julian. Oh, there we go.
So
End the eve of the great winter. End the eve? Oh, on the eve.
Yeah.
But it's a really good attention to detail. And Justin, you can keep sharing it. I'll just take it down, put it back up. That way it's just kind of like easier.
Yeah, go through the entire book. That's what.
No, that's why I said take it down.
I'm joking.
So we're not showing the entire book, Bond. I know.
No, I know. I'm messing with you. I'm saying I know.
I'm not letting you ruin my reputation here, Bond. This is my show.
It was not a jab at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to bounce between this and my notes too. So there's that. I guess you guys can stare at my notes. I don't know.
Yeah,
it depends if you just share the window, then it'll say to switch tab or whatever. But
let's see if that works. Then I can't see your faces. I need more monitors, gentlemen.
You do. All right. I mean, if it's more difficult to do that, then don't worry about it.
It's okay.
So then we have the scene with the trolls. Kind of look like orcs. I mean, everyone's got a different depiction of what a troll is. So, in his depiction of trolls, they're kind of just more tribal men, green skin. Is that kind of a fair?
Yeah, they're more human looking.
Yeah.
With troll-ish traits. Mm-hmm. I like it. It's something we haven't seen before, but they don't go for 10 years about what a troll is. It's like, dude, I know what a troll is. And then Arvid really respects the audience, and that's one of the things I will say. This guy is someone who knows what he's doing when it comes to writing. And it shows. He actually gave me I remember way early on, some feedback. Even just in the first page, he was like, and he was brutally honest so I'll always appreciate that. And it was really, I had read it again, but it wasn't like, oh, I have to read this again. I was excited to reread what I had already read before getting to the new stuff from the previous book.
Now, a question I have for you: the trolls that come in there and they're looking to steal up the gold and such, is one of the trolls in that group the one that is also featured on the cover?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Is he?
Maybe it's our troll bias, our troll race, trollism.
No, it's not. It's not you. The guy on the cover, is that even a troll on the cover? Because he looks.
He's got the green skin. I assumed it was. And in the trailer, the animated trailer for this comic is fantastic too. By the way, on their webpage, where he's in there and he looks like a troll. So I don't know if it's going to be the kind of thing like he switches sides if he plays for the other team or.
No, because it says you meet the.
He's a gay troll.
No, I meant he changes who he's a ally.
He changes teams?
I'm saying he's an ally, Bats, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You'll meet the final member of the Band of the Crow in the next. So, no, okay? That's not, because this, I assume,
It's
is going to be
not.
the final member.
Okay. Well, I mean, if so, I mean, he could be a antagonist. We don't know. There's a lot of the story we don't know, which is issue 1. So I mean, who knows?
There's
Who knows
not
exactly.
a lot, but that we know more than enough, because this is one of the things that I liked about this story.
Well, yeah, you need to know enough to be intrigued.
Well, you need to know enough. You get an understanding of the character, of his background. There's enough level of intrigue. Because I've read so many indie comics where even if it's by people like where they don't give the right amount of detail. Arvid gives the right amount of detail. Like, I really dug this, and I'm not just saying that. For full disclosure, I'm friendly with Arvid. I'm friendly with Bancroft, but I'm being serious and saying this. It's so just the drip feeding the right way, where I know I care about the main character. The focus is on the main character more than all the fantasy world stuff. Again, like in 3 images, we get, because if it's a fantasy guy, he probably has like documents full of all this stuff. But he knows.
Have you got the map?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. I got the map, so I'll take that. But keep talking. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, he gives all of this. I totally forgot to do that. All of this information. And it's like, he doesn't need to give everything. Because he has, we have one character that we care about. And then you could start to go, okay, I trust you because you've done this. Here's the next. He has a goal that he doesn't even achieve. Why should I care? Because I care about the characters. Because every interaction reveals something about who the characters are, and if we're lucky, a bit about the world. But you're exploring the world through the characters, not the characters through the world.
You give people a little taste here and a little bit taste there to get an idea of what's to come, right? And so that's that opening scene. It's like, okay, here's Choles. This is a potential enemy that's going to be going around that you might see later, right? There's a little flavor of that. Then I got the note about with the shadow magic waifu. Waifu number 1 is introduced very early on. And you get a little taste of some cool magic illustration, right? Now, hearing Arvid talk in some videos and stuff like that, what really got me interested in getting his book is hearing him talk about the magic system he has planned, which you don't really get any of that in this issue. But I'm a magic system guy. I like good, well set up magic systems, and I'm like, okay, I like where this guy's going with that idea. But we get a taste of that.
Did you see the trailer on their page? The little cartoon trailer that they did?
I did. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Yeah, they show off some of where this magic system is heading, and it looks pretty awesome. Like, from reading this book, there's not tons and tons of action throughout it. You get little tidbits. The shadow magic at the beginning is really cool, where the shadows are pitch black and they're kind of grabbing at the trolls. And by the way, the art in this book, I don't know, I'm sure you guys agree, fantastic. It's so good.
No. Absolutely.
Like, every panel is awesome. And so the magic.
I've not seen the trailer yet.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth watching. You get to see more of, I assume, where the characters are going to... I mean, look at this. It's fantastic. The shine on the armor there, and you get the shadow
look
magic
at the
coming
background, like the detail on the pillar. Like, it's...
Just the lighting and everything. It's very, very pretty to look at. So anyways, the magic there, it's a little taste of it. So that's probably the biggest point of action in the entire book, but from the animated trailer, it looks like they're going to have some really cool battles down the road and a lot of fun powers, sorcery, and the like.
Absolutely.
So, looking forward to that.
Another thing that's nice to touch on, too, because we have the scene immediately after this, is when, like, waifu's husband comes in. I don't remember names for shit, so it's nothing against this book. I just don't.
Is the girl. By the way, good on her husband. I think his name's Morin, maybe. Good for him, dude. I don't know if it was arranged or something, but
I think it was probably arranged, especially what we get from later in the story. But I mean,
so I will say
they give you a little natural taste of the like political conflict that's happening within the kingdom right there in a quick little natural scene, right?
Yes. Now, my one complaint from the book, would be, because I agree with everything. I think that interaction is great. Some of the wording where it goes, "I'm afraid you're a bit late, my husband," and then he goes, "It is the child I carry within me." It's like both of those things were conveyed enough with the visuals. That felt like, compared to everything else he's written, where it all felt supernatural, those really stuck out. It's like
Okay.
it felt like this is. I'm afraid not, dear, or something like that. Where like my husband.
It could be
why
like
keep telling him?
the old fantasy talk.
It could be.
I don't.
Yeah, like,
Like,
oh, my
yeah.
husband.
Oh, my
Oh,
husband.
It is
Yeah.
the
my
child I carry within.
husband.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
The child I carry
child
within
I
me,
carry.
our child, and it's I get it. So that would be my only complaint, and even then, it's not that big of a complaint. So
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
I thought was stellar.
I didn't know she was pregnant. Like, I thought she was just holding like her chest, like she was winded or something. Because she does not look like she doesn't got a baby bump going on.
No, I think
Does a
that
little
was
bit.
fine.
She does.
A little bit.
It's subtle enough. It's subtle enough where you wouldn't. It's not fully revealed until that. No, she doesn't really have that much. Bat sausage is fat shaming a perfectly good woman.
I was gonna say, you guys
Not
look
bad,
pretty
sir.
fair.
I introduced her as the waifu.
Typical. No, I mean, I just want to apologize for his misogyny, honestly. And his body shaming.
Thank you for
Good.
that.
I would
we
never
need
do
more
that.
of it.
I would never do that personally.
Never.
To
Okay.
Ancasta. Ancasta, when your arranged marriage is up, hit me up.
Yeah. And then and of course we get you can't have a main character without him being bullied, so that happened. We get introduced to that
It was
very
a great
early.
bullying scene.
Yeah. Well, I guess his father, and this is also setting up a mystery, right, to kind of hook you in, like what happened, because you kind of get the idea that it's like, okay, the father didn't just like fail in the maze, like we're probably gonna figure out what happened there. So it's like, okay, mystery number one, here we go. What's gonna happen with that?
Yeah, because the whole. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, it's just everything that was drip fed that way. Because I'm glad I read it a second time. It's so well done. Where it's like this is about the dad, and it's confusing, but it's the right amount of confusing. Where you get the emotions you need to feel and the information you need to know, and you have enough faith because of everything that's happened earlier that you'll get the rest later. And it's really solid stuff.
Yeah, the main character, Therial,
Yeah.
he's it's almost like a Harry Potter type thing. He's like a wizarding school. They're trying to become sorcerers, and in order for it's all dudes from the images I'm seeing here. They have to go into this.
Yeah,
this
it's all
maze.
dudes, isn't it?
I think so. They have to go into this maze called the Knot and survive it or get through it or whatever. And the main character's dad, I guess the first time he tried to get through, he failed. And then the second time he vanished and never came back. And that's not a super uncommon occurrence. So if you want to become a sorcerer and go through the maze there and get your what's the little medallion, because the sorcery seems to be connected to that medallion. It's either fail or fale. I want to say a fale, but it's probably fail. That's a fale. We gotta so they have to get that in order to do the sorcery. They have to go through the knot in order to make that happen, and that's the scene where they're getting ready. It's like the day before, and all the kids are getting ready to head in there. And that's when they're picking on him about his dad and being like, your dad, and you're gonna do what he did. You're gonna fail too, loser, and all that sort of thing.
Right, and then so I just had a note where I was just like, all this little tidbits thrown in here in a very short time, and it all felt natural. So that like A+, right? A+ right off the gate. That's where exactly where you want to be on a start, right?
Yes.
And then we get the introduction to the knot, and we get to see, and this is where the preview book kind of ended, is the look at the maze, and I'm just like, I'm super hooked now, because I'm like, this looks like something out of something else, right? I don't know, but I'm like, this is
Spiral.
I don't know if this is like a great comparison, but I'm thinking, am I gonna get like a tuning exam kind of arc going on?
What's that? Is that from Naruto?
It's from Naruto. You don't know the tuning exam?
Oh, I thought it was Pokemon.
Yeah, I watched some episodes of it. That's where they're like Hokage. They want to be Hokage.
Yeah.
And then
Well, since you don't get the reference, it's the best arc of the show.
Episodes. Oh, wait, does it happen late? Because I got like 10 episodes in, and then I watched.
No, it happens pretty early on. But anyways,
all right.
Anyways, I'm excited for the maze, because I'm like, what's going to be happening in this maze? What kind of magic is going to be going on? Like, we've already seen trolls, seen shadow magic. Like, I mean, you also kind of think, what is it, the Goblet of
Orc
Fire
City?
from Harry Potter? Orc City?
Yeah, it's Orc City through the
It's
maze.
Orc City in the mind.
By the way, because I've been seeing the memes. He has been so good in how he's handled that.
Dude, I am a little. I'm getting a little annoyed at the Orc City memes. It's all him. It's all him, just Orc City. I'm like, God damn it, John.
Boys. Ride the wave.
He's handling it well. I hope he's got sales, but yeah, like Orc City is not even that bad of a.
No, I'm gonna do a video on why there's literally nothing wrong with that fucking paragraph, and
there isn't.
No, because people threw the. I'm sorry. Hey guys, pause on the review real quick. I just have to talk about this.
Yeah.
You can't talk to normal people outside of the internet about fucking Orc City drama.
Exactly. No one will care.
No,
I
so
really even paid attention, like, because that day. The day before that, he posts his phenomenal review, and then I post that review, and I start getting comments like, "This sucks. Why would you, of all days you post this?" I'm like, "Post what happened to John? I just posted this," and then I see this whole drama, and I'm like, "Today is the day. The day I post this quote from John is the day where he gets attacked by all on Twitter." And I'm like, I had no idea. Like, why did you have to drop my review?
He made an innocent meme. I don't even agree with the joke. I thought it was funny, but the way he presented it, I didn't really agree with it. But I was like, it's John. But no, it's the ruin was overseen by the architect of its very own destruction. Everybody was losing their well, it is a little clunky because when you read overseen, it means like it sounds like they're currently supervising the destruction that they are doing. But I'm like, okay, guys, you do know that words have more than one definition, right?
Oh,
So I mean, the sentence still works. So people back to the review.
All right.
So he's getting ready to head into the knot, and I like here they have a moment because earlier when he's getting bullied by that guy who's making him eat dirt, and I like while he's eating the rocks, the guy says something about like, oh, it's like that you bite like a girl back home, and he's like, yeah, for your sister or something.
And
then he bites his hand. So this kid is not a pushover. Like he's getting bullied, but he's not a chump. Like he can fight back. But I do like that right before they get going into the knot, there's a character named Rollo that shows up and kind of takes his side and backs him up. So it's like, okay, yeah, this guy's not just some chump. He can fight for himself, but he does have friends. He's not just like a loser, and it's not like the one wimpy kid that's his buddy, you know?
And I'm curious, why was the dad so old when he entered the knot? Was that mentioned? I didn't read closely when I was doing my reread. It wasn't. Skimming.
Another mystery.
They said that he waited several years before making his second attempt, but several years to me doesn't come across, because I think the kid in this, it's revealed he's 16, so if his dad was the same age, several years.
He's got a beard, he's got a beard. I don't know.
He's one of those kids that had a beard in like, 5th grade. He's one of those.
Well, maybe that's the fantasy race of humans. They age very fast.
Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe there's something
Probably
going
not,
on
though.
More with the political landscape or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that could be something that pops up.
And here's the thing, again, he's earned my faith with him as a writer. Sometimes you could tell where it's like, if it's a lesser story, I'd be like, what are you like? What?
Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah.
But again, I'm not just saying that because I know the guy. It's just saying it because, like, up to this point, just the way everything is conveyed.
Well, you give, like, I wouldn't even say leniency, but it, for lack of better words, leniency to people that have already given you confidence in their writing. And so leading up to that, if the writing was poor up until that point, I wouldn't be giving leniency. But it's been stellar, so I'm like, okay, I now have trust in the writer to lead us into a direction that's going to make sense.
Right.
You know?
And for the record, like, not much really happens in these two chapters, but it doesn't matter because I know every step of it and the way it's delivered in a professional, whatever manner, that I know I want the next one because I care enough about this one character, and he didn't even achieve his goal here. But But
Well, I was gonna say, we get to our very first obstacle in the maze. I'm excited, and the first obstacle is the succubus waifu. Fantastic, silver hair, naked lady, and I'm like, oh, this is great. What's gonna happen here? There is I'm not gonna show it. You're gonna have to buy the book to see the succubus waifu. Sorry, guys.
She's not clothed. It's true. She's she's all
just how I like my
yeah. She's pale skin and long
well,
white hair.
I don't like that.
your black eyes.
Yeah, see that I don't like.
What's not to like?
What's
Come
wrong?
on, go
I
to
don't like
Darkhold with her, Vaughn.
succubuses. I don't like succubuses.
She wants to take you to Darkhold.
I can fix
it's
her.
all right, man.
I can fix her.
She can fix you. Just go with her to Darkhold. Just take care of it.
Well, she was trying to fix him, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
I
that part of
know.
the dialogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it was a well done succubus sequence, and as someone who's been writing a lot of succubus related stories lately, that'll come out. Not just like I written a few, not even joking. It was a well done one because it's like the temptation is not just sexual; she gives something emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you could feel like he's tempted, but ultimately he's going to say no. But it's again, it reveals everything. What I like about it is every bit of lore also reveals a bit of character. That is how you trick people into caring about your lore. You tie it into the characters, and he does.
Throw
that
a
every
sexy
time.
succubus waifu.
And tits, and you throw tits too. That is also a great.
He was gonna say
He did
yes for the
tits?
record.
Oh, was he?
He was going. Oh yes, he was
then
like, all right. She shows him in the little pool because he finds
What a
the
pussy.
sanctuary he's drinking out of, and in the reflection, she's like, "Yo, I can tell you what happened to your dad. Just come with me. I'll take care. Let's go to Darkhold."
Until
Like,
his
the black
dad's
portal.
Patronus shows up.
No, it's even before that. The
Expecto
bell rings.
Patronum!
There's the bell that indicates the hunters are on the trail, and it's whenever the bell
Yeah.
rings that he's like, "Wait, what's that?" And that's when he kind of shakes him out of it to be like, "Oh wait, I can't go with you into that black portal to God knows where." Although he was
men
thinking about it, he's like,
also-
this sounds like not a bad
Also,
deal.
that age, I mean, men are so horny.
But here's the
couple
thing.
that-
Here's the thing. We are gonna have to revisit this because I can't not ever find out what the fuck is in the cave.
Mm.
You know what I
That's
mean? Like, we
again-
ha-
I want to know.
Darkworld's gonna be a thing, dude. That's gonna absolutely
Yeah.
come back. And
something.
call it shadow
this-
creature or
yeah,
something.
this was not. I will say this: if we don't come back to this character, that's gonna feel very unsatisfying because it feels unresolved. Is what I'm saying from a story perspective.
You want to know
For
what's
the
inside
plot.
that dark hole that
That
she's trying to take him into?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude. I'm thoroughly
Satisfied?
Yeah, I mean, I am. I will say, and I want more. And what I like about this again is, it's okay. It's a little bit, right? It's really not that much, and there's like only however many panels a page, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I know I'm very interested in where it goes from here. I really am, and the artwork is great. Sure, the artwork and the writing are great. He says so much with so few words, and I'm very happy with it. My one thing is, he doesn't drink the thing, correct?
What?
At the pool where she shows up?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't
That
drink
sounds like a big
the whatever.
detail because I kept going back
Yeah.
and forth to that because I'm like, you need to drink it, and then he goes,
Yeah, he does.
no, he doesn't.
What?
No, he
He
does.
dumps it on her,
He
which
has
that
it.
is I'm like, why
Wait.
doesn't he drink it?
Are you talking
I
about
guess
before
it'll
he
come back
enters the
later.
knot whenever
Yeah,
Ancosta
yeah.
off? Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Before he
Yeah,
enters
that was
the
a
knot,
little. I would say that was a little silly.
Yeah.
He just kind of fumbled
He's
the
like,
water.
"Oh!" That was a
Oh.
little. I kept going back to that because I was like,
And I'm like, dude, you need to say the thing and drink the water.
that's what I
Um,
kept saying. I was like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
they just let him go,
he's
and
just
why did
nervous
he do
because,
it?
Anacasta saved his butt from the
But
trolls.
something
and
tells
so
me-
he
but
was
something
like, oh
tells
my
me-
god, oh, Anacasta, oh,
But
he spilled
something
the
tells
goblet.
me that will lead to something.
Whoops.
yeah.
It's
That
because she had a white
maybe it was
robot
the
in it on
Kool-Aid.
purpose.
No, maybe it was the Jim Jones Kool-Aid.
That's Anacasta. That would be a twist. If
That's what I
before they
think,
go into
because-
the knot, all the
because-
sorcerer guys have to drink out of this chalice and say a thing. When it gets to get his turn,
Yeah, that's
he
what I
spills
think.
it and does not drink. So that would be an
Because
interesting twist.
everything Arvid has done so far has led to something. And again, this is where I think it's all these little details. Because he kept going back. I'm like, we've shown every other person drink this except
Well,
for him.
We also
Why
have
not just
really
have him-
no idea what it means for them to pass the knot.
We don't. We don't
Right?
know.
Well, they get the
Like
they get the
freaking-
sprig at the end of it, and the sprig
Oh,
is
yeah,
used
yeah,
to
the-
make
the-
their
yeah.
their file.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
sorcerer. Yeah, nah.
Okay, never mind. I take that back. Okay, but
Yeah,
anyways, after
What a moron.
the
Doesn't even know what
deer,
the story is
this
about.
this mystical deer comes in and is like, "Follow me! I'm here to save you."
It's Patronus. you know?
Patronus, yeah.
Yeah.
The father's
Harry.
Patronus. Harry.
You're a wizard. You're a wizard. Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh, what?
Get away from the succubus, Harry.
Run. So he follows this stag.
The Patronus comes in and goes, "I silence you hoes to keep your legs closed." And then he...
Yeah, the writing takes a weird
fooled. So yeah, is it going to be this thing where it's like the deer's trying to save him because he saw the deer in his past, but it's like because he's promised to
I figured it out.
The blonde waifu. He's promised to a pretty hot woman that has a lot of political power. I can't imagine many people are happy about that. So you'd think they were just gonna probably just have him go into this place so they can have him get killed and not have any questions about it, right?
Interesting. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the deer that he follows leads him back to the entrance, so he fails in his quest to get the Fale. And then that's whenever he meets up with the swordsman in the forest and talking about oh yeah, I saw the stag whenever I was a kid. My dad took me hunting and it was there for a second. He was lost in the woods and he sees the stag and his dad finds him. So it's all right. So there's that connection there. But
so it seems to guide him in the right direction.
Yeah, it kept him in a trance. Didn't know how long he was staring until his dad found him.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's been guiding him. A guardian angel. One idea, I don't think this is actually it. But the dad went into the thing, it didn't come out. What if the dad became this thing and is able to somehow go through time as a deer?
I would hate that.
Oh, so it would be that would be a lot like the Patronus then, where it's he went into the past with the watch and everything. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Well, I would hate it mostly because I hate time travel in almost every sense.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously their stories has been done. I'm like, oh, okay, that was really good. But generally speaking, I'm like, please keep it out. I mean, very specifically, the time travel in Harry Potter is so bad.
Harry Potter.
Oh,
yeah, but they never use that again. That's
yeah.
She used it to take classes. It's dude, are you kidding?
All they had to do was have the device that made it happen explode and be destroyed after they used it. But anyways, so towards the end, Therial, the main character, he heads back to, I guess, his home castle or whatever. He's talking to Mumkin, who I guess is a maid or something. And he is expected, like Bats was saying, he has an arranged marriage with this blonde girl, the one that's on the cover. He's going to be marrying her the next year. And he doesn't even know her name. I do, though, because I watched the trailer, although they don't tell you in this book what her name is. But she's trying to sneak Therial through so that the bride-to-be in the future and her parents don't see him. And did you all catch a glimpse of the chandelier they have hanging overhead in that scene?
Yeah, no, I totally missed that, dude. What do you mean? Yeah, this is insane.
So, yeah, they're talking about these giants that, destroyed mankind, and these people are the survivors.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's got it's fair to say it's a little Attack on Titan-ish, right? That there's these monsters that are destroying humans, and they have to figure out how to use sorcery to fight back against them. There's some, right?
Well, it also looks like in the map, it looks like there's a massive wall.
Ooh.
Donald?
I said massive, I mean long. It looks like, I don't know if this is a wall that's going across or not, but...
Yeah, thank you for pulling that up. That was really good to show on. I couldn't see it at all.
But yeah, I think. Let me see what else I had in my notes.
I will say misleading cover because this chick is barely in it, and this guy
got 2 pages. Yeah.
So I wish the cover. I feel like the reason why this is the cover is because this is what it's meant to represent the actual series. So in that respect, this may be a good thing for that. But for this particular story, it's not a fitting cover.
That's fair.
But it's honestly I really don't care that much. That's again, I'd have to I still like it though. So
yeah. I mean the alternate covers are really sick too.
Oh, I didn't get. I guess that's my fault.
Yeah, it is your fault. But yeah, my one note goes, he gets to marry blonde waifu. Nice.
Yeah,
That's your one notable.
Where is the next one, Arvid?
Where's Redhead waifu? We have dark Shadow Mage waifu.
Yeah,
we have
what the hell, dude?
Royal Pretty Blonde waifu, and we have white-haired Succubus waifu.
Yeah, Succubus. And then we need the redhead, we need the brunette. And I think that's it. That's all we really need.
No.
There's
so many more.
I don't know you're going to get all of that, but you're going to have to settle for her name's Olwen from the trailer. Spoilers.
Dude, what the hell? Yeah, I'm going to watch the trailer after this. I totally missed that.
Yeah.
I think he just did he didn't catch her name as a joke, kind of.
Dude, I didn't
in a much more brilliant story, to be honge. Much more brilliant story that makes that same joke. Tale of Dunce Whisperer, but anyways.
61K is somehow
the Tale of the what? I haven't heard of this. What is this?
Oh yeah. Tale of the Dunce Whisperer. Some genius.
Wait, a dunce a tale of it's a Tale of the Dunce Whisperer. I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah. It's genius.
Tale of the Dunce Whisperer.
So I do have a major complaint. And my major complaint was especially getting off of the first look and you get to see this giant maze. And I'm like, cool, we're going to get an arc of this, like, around every corner of the maze is going to be, either a new monster or a mystery or death trap, something. And, we're immediately out of the maze. And I'm like,
What?
Yeah, we have to go back in.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to go back. But here's the thing. But also, it was just the fact that it was one monster, one little thing that happened, and then we're out. I'm like, whoa, that was so quick. I mean, we couldn't get one or two more things. Either way, when they go back when he goes back in the maze, I'm gonna need to see more than one or two instances before he solves the maze. From that picture, I'm like, this needs to be
What if there's just 5 or 6 succubus, just different succubi at that point? That's all that's in the knot, and that's why it's all guys, and no one ever gets out. The dad's just chilling, having a good life. He's like, no, did you see that succubi?
That's why it's called the knot. It's an entanglement, as the Smiths would say.
Okay. Yeah.
No, an entanglement.
I'm with you though. I think some monsters in there and all that would have been cool to see here, or some glimpses. He finds, I don't know, the toenail of some monster. It's all and it's what does that belong to?
Some puzzles too,
Yeah.
He's got to use his brain to figure out some stuff, right? Because he's trying to become a mage.
A few more breadcrumbs on this first pass would have been nice. I agree with you there.
Yeah. But yeah, at least more for that first one. But obviously, we're gonna go. We're gonna revisit it, right? Because if we don't, I'm gonna be butthurt. I'm gonna be very, very butthurt. But yeah, this is. I think this was a masterful way to set up a world without bogging down the reader. I think that was my final note on that.
Yeah, it's a very quick read. If anything, you could argue for 64 pages. That's just the nature of the pacing and the art style. Not a lot happens, right? Objectively speaking. No,
I disagree with that. A lot happens.
Well, a lot does, but I'm saying but it's also it's weird a lot, but also not at the same time. I don't know how to.
No, this is just what happens when you have dialogue and story that's written well. You blast through it, and you're like, oh, that was quick.
Right.
Every time I read a manga that I'm really liking,
but I'm saying
go
even
through 10 chapters in 20 minutes.
But even then, there's a lot a full page him going down this. I'm just comparing it. I guess my pacing with Phenomenova was different. But even then, it works. It works. You could be like, hey, I wish there's more in this, because I've read 64-page books that have way more happen. So this is a very different kind of comic.
Overall, I don't think I agree with that at all. Because even comparing it to your own book, right? I think a lot more happens. If you were to count up the amount of plot notes that happens, I
guess. But I guess I was more comparing it to the Marvel style. If you compare it to Asgardian Wars, that's those annuals is different. But even then, my point is that it still works in the book's favor, because this is the kind of storytelling. But it just means that it's gonna be a lot longer to get to cover different ground than say, for example, if you were to do an omnibus of this, probably would be a slower, less story points than say an omnibus of this.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the nature of the beast. But again, I don't mind it because it works for this particular story and this particular.
I'm curious what the overall story objective it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always get that in the first issue. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. We don't got that here. We kind of got like some mysteries that were like, okay, this is the objective to figure out what's going on with these mysteries, but we don't know what the overarching story is going to be yet. And I hope that doesn't take too long to get into. Right?
Yeah.
And we have some characters that can kind of like just say like, oh, there's the giant troll war is happening, and that's what's the like yeah, we might not touch the troll war like forever, but like that is eventually going to be the goal. You know, it's nice to have that goal.
I know what you mean. Yeah, a line like that would have been cool too. I think things are going to escalate very quickly. They talked about at the beginning whenever the trolls were stealing the treasure. They make a comment like, "The trolls, they haven't done something like this in a very long time." Like clearly something is afoot at Circled K. Like something's out of balance, and I think it's going to go off the rails quick.
I'm going to say this. This is one of my favorite indie comics that I've backed. I'm going to go out and say it. I think it's one of the best written, and even then, it's not that much happens, but I want more to happen. I really like this book. Top-notch art, top-notch writing. Strong thumbs up from me.
Oh, man.
And I'm not even a fantasy guy. Why?
Really?
I can't use the glazing clip because you're glazing Arvid so hard.
I'm picturing it.
I don't. I don't. You know, I don't want. That's the tough part about reviewing friends' books. It really is.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
All
unlike certain writers, you know, like Bad Sauce, for example.
Genius.
I love when people were taking, by the way, your obvious joke picture, and they're like,
it happens every time. It happens.
I know, it's
without
so
fail. If I get noticed to a new group, they will throw my profile picture back up. Like, is this guy doing this? I'm like, you guys can't tell a fucking joke. Holy shit.
Well, I didn't.
Just like
before
hilarious.
I had actually seen you on a stream, I remember seeing that picture. I'm like, "Who's this tool bag?"
Yeah, I remember
And
seeing
then I
that.
saw him. I was like, "Oh, he's just funny." Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
that was my first impression of you too. I was like, "What?" And then I saw you in the short bus. And I'm like, this is very.
Yeah. Then it all clicked. But until then, it was just
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, it's one of those things where you're just like, I know some people like this exist in the world, and that's who I'm making fun of. You don't realize that like there's a lot of people like that exist. And it's like all those people were showing up in John's comments, but like, actually, I would have used this word instead of that word. Why would you use such a simple word like burned when you could use incinerate?
Oh,
Like, get fucking dude. And people who just like Google the most like the whatever word they can use to replace it, it's like it becomes very obvious what they're doing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't sound natural.
All right,
But what are you trying to run my
no.
show? I'm pretty
No,
sure this
no.
is the back game. All right. Anyways, all right. So we talked about the Band of Crow. I think we all agree it's an excellent book. I mean, we kind of don't do. I'm kind of getting off the number grading things for stuff. It's just too arbitrary and stuff. But what did you have to say? Did you have something to add?
Who are you talking to?
Yes.
No, I was just taking my book
Okay.
out in preparation for the Jesus.
All right. In that case, we're gonna move on to the Lucent by Michael Bancroft, which I added this because I didn't want to just review Band of the Crow, and I was like, yeah, well, man, he's got an active campaign, and we can let me check it out and see if this is on Global Comics, and you can get the first issue of the Lucent on Global Comics for free. You don't even need to pay for an account or anything like that. So, which is also cool because I can guilt-free show as many panels as I want.
Always nice.
And also too, it's if you're backing the next book, you don't really have to worry too much about reading the second one because I believe this is a prequel. So
Oh, is that true? I didn't know
Yep.
that.
From what I read. Yep.
yeah, and I went ahead, I backed it. But yeah, so right out the bat, let me see. Well, I'll say this isn't even in my notes. The cover, sick. Cover's awesome.
Although this cover
one, right?
is not actually in the book. There's a variation on it that I think he maybe spiced up for the cover. Like this position her body's in never occurs in the book.
That's how it happens. What do you? That's such a hang on,
go to the
Phenomenal
font.
is-
It's not. Yeah, it's not exact.
That's
but
not.
it's
No cover
very-
ever. I mean, what cover
It's-
has ever been exact?
But it's so close to being exact. That's what I was like, oh, that was interesting.
Phenomenal. Same thing. He's smiling, holding the lightning. If you look at the book, he's like, ah, like he's freaking out. Like that's just normal.
Oh yeah, then why did I don't okay.
It's just
That
supposed
was
to be an
such a-
illustration of what's going on, which
Yeah.
is what happened.
I was waiting for this panel. I was like, oh, cool. And then you get to the end, and it
No,
doesn't happen quite like this. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird nitpicker here, but that's just something I noticed.
Yeah. So I.
It is a
read
cool
years
cover. I
ago,
don't
'cause
I don't
when
disagree.
met-
It's an awesome cover.
When I met Bancroft in Tampa, I got this. From
Oh,
him.
here he goes. Oh, I know this person. I know this boy.
I do.
Shake
He
his hand.
formats my books.
Did you shake his hand?
Well, somebody has to,
I
right?
probably did shake his hand. Probably did. He survived the experience, but I hadn't read this in years, and I went back and I revisited it, before this. So this is you guys' first time reading it, right?
This is my
Oh,
first
no.
time.
Yeah,
I got
mean,
it. I got it a while ago.
I've only heard nothing but good things about this story, so it was only a matter of time before I read it. So this was a great excuse to pick it up. Which is why I like doing these. So.
Yeah, I
What
love
were you gonna say, Vaughn?
No, I'm enjoying this. I should do these more often. Like honestly, if you ever want to have me back. 'Cause
No,
it's
you failed. This was a test, and
just-
your personality is just unfit for.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, so we open up, and I say this would be kind of my criticism here because I mean it is kind of ominous, right? Which is interesting enough to pull you in a little bit, but this opening in the desert doesn't really tie in anywhere else with the story following.
Mhm.
So it was kind of a little janky, and I'm not sure how. Like, I'm sure we're gonna find out eventually, but I'm just it feels like maybe this wasn't the best time to put that scene in. That's my personal opinion. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. They're dropping hints as to what, like, obviously this chick on the cover shooting lightning, blowing up cars and stuff. She's got some kind of power going on here, and it's got to be tied to whatever happened. It starts off in the Levant 3800 BC, and this old dude has this cursed kid with like boils all over him, telling him the story about. I had to read this several times. I still don't know that I fully understand it. And to your point, maybe we're going to get a reveal later on. But it seems like she is a descendant of these people.
Perhaps. And again, yeah, that's I don't know. Maybe that'll end up being really good that it's there when I read in a future following book. But as of right now, I'm just kind of like, this part was a little bit too confusing, and I'm like, I'm not sure I'm able to map this out well.
Yeah,
but
it is confusing. I liked it more than I didn't, but it was a little hard to follow, and I read it several times. I don't know if everybody else got it in their first try, but I was trying to really understand. I still don't know that I do.
Yeah, and you feel like I feel like I'm picking up major lore things. So, and again, I'm trying to read it to make sure I'm trying to capture it. And I don't like that I'm having to go reread and stuff like that. I kind of want to move along with the story
right out the gate. Yeah. Okay. Now I get what you're saying. Right out of the gate to start this book, and you're like, wait, what? Right away.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, because I read it the first time a while ago. It didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me again. And not to compare it, but so I remember because it starts with a very similar line. Can you tell me the story again, Dad? Very similar. And by the way, no connection. Like I had written it before this, so totally very similar. But I will say, like, the story's describing is interesting. I would have liked. Again, if there were some of the visuals there, I think. Yeah. I really think, and this is me being honest, that it's just not that. I like what he's going for, but to me, it didn't work for me. The opening of this book, I think it's visually really cool, but it's like from a storytelling standpoint, the dialogue, it should have been some flashes of like he's describing certain things. I would have liked to see that, but even then, like you said, it doesn't really tie in with the rest. Again, I really like the visuals, even that title
right there.
page. I love the visuals, but it just doesn't work for me.
I really like how we get the title like partway in. It feels like I'm watching a movie. I did like that. That was like a nice little touch at the beginning. Yeah.
So,
but right after that, we kind of have like, to me, like the real opening, right? And you get this nice little short story, kind of this father and the daughter, who the daughter being the main character we're about to find out. He's on the run. He's got to say goodbye, and he's gonna die. That's when we just find this all out really quick, and it's all really endearing, and you feel for this character that you just met and are also saying goodbye to at the same time. I really like that.
Yeah, I reread that, and again, it hit again, and I remembered all it hits all the emotions. You're confused, you're conflicted, you don't know what's going on, but you.
It's the good confused, because you're like,
because you're like, oh my god, we gotta, it makes me feel. And it's funny, it almost reminded me of. And I read this in between both times. I read it recently when they have to send baby Cable to the future in the X Factor comics. Because it's like he gets infected with this virus and this person comes in and is like, you have minutes to save the kid. You have to send it into this future with this person you just met or the kid will die. The kid is going to die. And Cyclops like, okay. It reminds me of that scenario. And it's funny because I just read that before rereading this, like not that long ago. Maybe a couple weeks ago. And it was just really interesting.
I love the page art here too. The colors, everything's got that.
Oh, it's so
that green aqua vibe going on, and then the punches of yellow. I love the black pages in the background. I don't know if this is common in comics. This is the first comic I've ever seen where he switches between the white backgrounds, like we saw.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think of that.
And then, dude, these pages with that black, it just gives it that nice contrast. Oh, it's so tasty. And I like to this shot's awesome too, with like the rain coming down and that like
absolutely awesome
design.
shot.
Check it out. This dude's got like powers though. He's bouncing off walls and stuff. Like what's going on there? And his whole thing of he's checking his watch. He got these messages saying meet at this weird location he's never been. He's got to be there at 1:15 a.m. And he's just like, when this guy texts me, I just got to go. Can't ask questions. And so he's flying through. He's got the superhuman strength on display here. At least I assume. I've never actually tried to break a lock with my hand, but I assume that's supposed to be showing that he's stronger than the average Joe, right?
Something with the powers. Wait, go back up though, real quick. This was another criticism that I had though. He's describing a lot of the things that are in words, what's being illustrated, and I'm like, I kind of get rid of it. I'm like, you don't need to talk about, because what it says about like the paint, the rain falling hard down on his face or whatever.
I actually like that. Personally,
I was fine with it, but I could see it being I could see why somebody wouldn't too. Like it's already there.
This is like nitpicky. I know, but I'm just kind of like the art. Let the art speak, right? The art is showing that. I didn't need you to say it also, right? Like it feels like a little bit repetitive to me. I don't know. I like a little bit more silence, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know what
He's
you mean.
telling you to shut up, basically, Michael.
So the messages he got too, it's saying, hey man, you got to get up into this location. There's a bathroom or there's a sink in there. Plug up the sink, turn the spout on. He's like, I don't know why I'm doing this. And then we find out he plugs up the sink and whoosh, these, this trio here, it's got his daughter there and Ella and then Alex, and I forget this dude's name. They can travel through water, I guess. Water allows them to have whatever power they have access to. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and how it's not really like, we do this with our water powers. It's kind of like, what?
Well, I'm really intrigued. I know it's like such a weird thing that happens, but I'm like, okay, what is going on with this power system? Because you also have the taller guy who seems to be the one that's able to detect the other powered people. Whereas the other people couldn't do that like he could, or at least to the extent he could. Like, I don't know if it's maybe people are better at certain things. I don't think it seems, we're getting a nice introduction into what seems like a power system for this comic. And I'm interested, right? Like I said, I'm a power system guy. And it seems from what's been displayed is that at least people have some powers that are the same. So it's like, okay, does everyone have access to the same powers? And some people are just better at some of them, or is it like people are more specialized to other powers than others?
Right. And it sounds like the people that have some power are called Lucent. There's more than one of them because he's like, oh, which one could be following me? And there's only one, Le Marechal, which in English just means the marshal. So I'm going to call him the marshal from here on out because I don't know how to speak French. But
on listener.
Le Modestia. I don't know. Yeah. So, and then there's a little bit here too. He's talking about how the Order is trying to hunt Ella. I guess they took Ella, and the dad gets to see her again, but she's got a bruise on her eye. It's like, what's going on here? And they're like, we're gonna let you see her one more time. We got like 9 miles before the marshal gets here, and things are gonna get really bad. So you can say bye to your daughter, but we're taking her because the order's after her, and if we don't protect her, she's toast. You can't protect her. Sorry, Dad. We know that you want to, but you can't. You also can't come with us, because if you come with us, it will reveal our location. The only way we can keep her safe is if they don't know our location. So say bye to your kid. We're taking her, and then you're going to have to deal with the marshal whenever he shows up. And then, of course, the prediction Alex made about the marshal being 9 miles out, he realizes, oh, wait, he was actually a lot closer than I thought. So it's like, oh, crap, he's right outside. Yeah, whoops.
Yeah,
I think it's so well done. Like that.
Yeah, great scene.
Yeah.
And then how it goes right to, and again, Michael, looking at it through new eyes because I've seen him format, I didn't even notice the black pages, and that was a deliberate thing with him, because looking at it, because he's very hyper aware of things I don't, because he formats books, and so like that double page spread goes from ready. It's the transition between the black on this side to the white, and I'm noticing that because you just pointed that out. So like expert understanding of how to use a page, this double page spread, super well utilized, that you see her standing in the reflection here before we see her here, and then we see her there. It's just so, and the storytelling is so good. And I'm very harsh, especially on a lot of artists who think they can write. I'm more judgmental of that, because I know a lot can't.
Most people take it for granted.
This Bancroft guy can write, man. Like, he really gets it. Like, because I'm especially, like, I wanted to go back and revisit him. Like, why didn't I? And one of my first thoughts when I was done, I was like, why the hell did I never back the second one? What was I smoking?
There are probably just way too many projects to back.
There's already way too many projects.
Still way too many projecks. Which is why it's taken me so long to get to this one, but yeah.
Yeah, but this is a good one, man.
Yeah, I will say throughout the entire book, but in the beginning here as well, I don't like to call them. I call them particle effects, because in video games, that's like all the noise from different elements. The way he captures the water, especially like this frame here, I don't know if you can pull that up, but the way this dude with the hat, the way he's just like sucking the water in because he's getting ready to get them out of there, and then he creates his little portal there. Like, that looks so good. And I pointed out the rain scene earlier with the kind of radial design and the splattering water. And later on in the book, we're going to get to a page where they have the, I forget the guy's name, the Ishalam or something, but he does this fiery, and it looks equally as good, but it's fire instead of water. And it's just, I've seen other people try to do this kind of particle effect, and it looked fine. In this book, I was just like, oh man, nailed it, dude. Looks so
Let me
good.
know if I'm reaching with this, but this scene in particular, like, kind of reminds me, like, the water effect, like a Guillermo del Toro like scene. I'm reaching with that one.
I always think of like weird stuff. I mean, her face and her hair kind of reminds me of that. It's like the.
I'm talking about the water power. I don't know, just it visually kind of like reminds me of the visuals of his movies. But
you might be spot on. I haven't seen too many Guillermo del Toro movies, but
yeah, I do. I have no idea how to pronounce it. Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro. Pretty sure.
Guillermo del Toro. It's not that hard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'll practice.
Sass that a little bit more, Vaughn.
No, but I mean, in all honesty, I mean, it's just, and the thing is, so Michael draws digital. There is something that feels digital.
I can tell. This,
but it works.
Yeah.
But it works. It almost feels like dreamlike because of it. And another thing too, I will say, I'm not crazy about fantasy stuff, and I'm not crazy about the dream stuff. Dream stuff, especially, can get really cringe really fast. So, for this to have me the whole time, pretty good. Because like I could, is it a dream? Is it not a dream? Oh, in dreams you can do it. They get so annoying. Like dream stories get so cringe so fast.
Yes.
And they can go off the rails in such an annoying way where it feels like they're just excusing lazy storytelling to be like, was it a dream? How do you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, this does well.
Anybody see the movie Push before?
Yeah. Yep. Several times.
Yeah. Underrated movie. Completely underrated movie. The powers kind of remind me of that.
push.
Yeah,
I
think
mainly
it's
because he's pushing it, but it's like the power system that's in that movie. I feel like might be very similar to this.
Never heard
Besides
of
the
this.
dream
see
part,
and that movie, the look of it too, it felt very modern, but not like a superhero modern. It just felt like people in the real world that also had powers, rather than the powers kind of being the forefront. The opening sequence here, did you guys get fooled? I know the book is called Waking Dream. I didn't know this was a dream sequence at first, where she's falling down, she catches herself, and then her and her boyfriend are bouncing around the city. I like that 2-page spread.
Dude, that was 2-page spread was good, dude.
It's fun, man. That's just a good looking
I was
scene.
like watching all of it, and I was like, man, I have to like get over to other things in my life, but I could see this being, not only is it good to read, but I could see this being something that like artists years down the line, or even just now, could just study forever. Like I don't have, like I didn't.
Where's that? I can't use the glazing fucking thing right now. God damn it.
This story, though, I think in general would translate to the screen really well. Sometimes I'm like, I kind of see it. This one, I'm like, yeah, if this was an episode of a well-made show or a movie, I think it would translate very well.
It's very cinematic.
I thought that they're okay. Her dream is in Paris. That's what it is. Because everybody's speaking French. I'm like, wait, does this book take place? Yes, because they have the Eiffel Tower in the background. Eiffel Tower in the background in this shot. So they are in Paris, and then the thugs that show up are speaking French. See, there's the Eiffel Tower.
They go, oui, oui.
Giant thing in the background there. Yeah, and then they're making out and stuff. She's making faces, and then the guys show up, and she beats them up. And at first I didn't know it was a dream, so I thought this was kind of cringe. Whenever he's like complimenting, he's like, "Ella, you're truly one of a kind." So no, you don't get to have her. I can't wait to show you who, like, he's just talking about that glazing clip, like he's just pumping her tires, and I'm like, yo, this dialogue is so not great. But then you realize she's dreaming, and so it was just in her mind. I'm like, oh. So the second time reading this, I'm like, okay, it was actually funny, but the first time, I'm like, what is this book?
She was having.
I mean, he's not a good guy, right?
Who's not a good guy?
I'm guessing that he's not a good guy. The guy in her dream.
Why? Because he's white. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay,
I feel like you might be trying to use her.
I mean, it's possible.
I'm gonna assume the better of this guy because I'm not like bat sauce.
I'm gonna assume the better just because it's, I don't know. It seems like something a Bancroft would do. Like the relationships he depicts in this, the people that are in relationships do seem to care about each other. Maybe that's how he leads you down the path, but I don't know. I think he's gonna end up being a good dude.
It could possibly be he's a bad. Let's see. What is the facial expression he makes at the end? Ella?
In her dream.
Maybe he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
I don't know. He
I
could
bet he
be.
buys her flowers. So
or he could be leading her. Oh wait, he could be like tempting her through the dark. Wait, who's the guy that kills? Maybe he's...
Oh wait, is Beth maybe onto something?
No, he's too young to be the marshal.
He might be. I don't want to give.
The son of the marshal.
Let me say, I never want to give you credit for anything. But you may be on this.
Well, you don't want to, but you have to because I'm very good at what I do.
They're luring her.
Wait.
Yeah, so maybe they're luring her. I haven't read the second one. For all we know, this could all literally be answered already.
Well, because why is somebody teaching her the powers when the old guy that is kind of is watching over her? He doesn't seem to have any interest in teaching her powers or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
because he doesn't want to fuck her, and this guy wants to fuck her.
I don't think he needs
to. Dreams though. She's just imagining him. He's not even a real guy yet.
He's getting that drussy, that dream.
Drussy.
I hope Bancroft sees this and steals that.
I hope you
Because I want to hear him with his beautiful accent say that
Bancroft,
word.
I want you to...
You want to get the Lucent 3? You want to get the Strussy in here?
Oh, I got you make that backwater British. Oh, man,
want you to
read that Lucent book.
I want you to do...
You think these guys are spying in real life? Oh, no, you got to give me the dream book, you dog.
Dude.
You went British.
Dude,
that's what you sounded like to me. You didn't sound Australian. You sounded like
I sound Australian.
You sounded backwater British.
Change this, Drussy, and sell this on T-shirts. or you can alternative. Or like any of these in the wet sequences could do. Honestly, any of these panels could do. You get her getting blasted.
All right,
Drussy.
You get on that, Bond.
No,
that's not a dream at that point. That's real, man. That's real at that point, right?
No, it's not.
That's some real Drussy right there. What? Anyways, all right.
Drowning in
So,
So she wakes up and she's actually in London. She was having a dream of being in France. She's working at a bookshop, and her friends show up here, whose names I don't know if I have them in my notes. She's 20. So in the opening sequence, whenever she got taken from her
it's
dad,
legal
I
Jersey.
think she was 6. Now she's 20. She's in England, and there's it's interesting if you look around some of the books he's got in here and stuff. He's got like an Animal Farm poster in the background there, and Dracula's on the wall. I always like whenever artists, if they have to do a scene like this, I'm like, oh, what are they tucking away in here? Fahrenheit 451's on the wall. So it's always interesting what they decide to put in there and not put in there. And then she's reading Milton. And so the friend shows up. What did you guys enjoy the banter between?
She would have a Dunce Whisperer poster, but
It would be better. It would be better.
But that also wasn't out there.
Dunce Whisperer is gonna be on the wall on that one. The friends that show up here. What did you guys think of the friends? Were you fans? Not fans? Because I enjoyed the banter.
I don't like their facial piercings, but they look like people that would be in a library.
Yeah.
So it looks accurate, but I don't want that kind of accuracy.
I meant their personalities, but
no,
I'm
I'm
milquetoast on them. You know, they didn't bother me,
Okay.
but I didn't.
great. They're very diverse. Good job, Michael Bancroft.
I thought they were fun because we open up with this like very serious sequence that a dad dies and loses his daughter, and then she has this dream sequence that's kind of like saucy, and then we get to this, and it's like. Then we get to this, and it's friends kind of playing playful banter, and we're hitting in like these different emotions, and I felt each one did a pretty good job. Even the opening sequence and all that, a little bit of mystery and all that. I feel like it's bouncing around, much like the characters in the story, and just like them, also doing a pretty good job. I agree.
At this, after this, because the only other note that I put on this was just I'm very confused, but in a good way. Because we start to have these scenes happen rapidly, like she just shifts, like in these bodies and stuff like. But I'm kind of like, what is going on here? And I'm just like, but I'm also like, I want to find out what the hell's going on here, you know.
She's got another vision of Damon where she's riding home, and then we get introduced to her granddad Arthur, and he has photos and he has memorabilia from her childhood that he has kept from her for the past 14 years because I guess whenever her parents died, she shut down. And then one day she just started smiling, and he was like, you know what? We're not going to mess with that smile. I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to bring these memories back up. But his health is failing, so now he's bringing this stuff out. And amongst the pictures that he has of her and her dad, there's also a letter, and then, of course, the ring. And the ring is the thing.
The ring seems to be very important.
Dude, and the dialogue is so good. The way he says it, it's so like it really. I'm really impressed by this rereading it, and again, I need to get second because I'm really impressed by how. Because at the time, like the first time I read it, I was like, oh yeah, this guy hung out with the con, I'll just read it. And the second time, I'm like, wow. Like the dialogue, the way he talks about time, how his time's coming to an end. I'm sorry. You never, because normally when a scene plays out like this, you'd be like, how could you keep it through me? Storms out of the room.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that 100 times.
No understanding. Yeah.
And then and that's a big pet peeve of mine, by the way, in the media is whenever they don't sit and talk through the problem. Like, I gotta go, and it's like, like they don't waste time on that.
I still like Hallmark movies, but go on.
Or any sitcom. They don't waste time on it.
Come back.
I enjoyed it. I really, and again, they could have easily gone that direction, and it would be totally understandable. But it's like how he doesn't have time. They don't have time for that in the story because we have other things.
I love the framing of this shot too. It's a very personal moment, and the open door. It's almost like we are the outsiders looking in, and I just like that. It's a very personal conversation. You're like, whoa, and then they
shot
remind
composition is so good.
Yeah, and the lighting again too. The color is fantastic.
Makes me want to go back and look at it from an artistic standpoint, but
don't you always look at it through an autistic standpoint? Is that kind of
All right, short bus.
So she slaps on this ring, and whenever she puts on the ring, she then has this dream. The ring makes her covers disappear. No,
Makes her turn invisible, but is seen by Sauron. Oh wait, no. Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't even put that together. That it was the ring that was possibly the.
I assume she throws it on, and now
I
got a little bit of like.
That's not far fetched.
Is this a transgender allegory?
Anyways.
This reminded me a little bit, and I don't know if it's if you guys would agree. It reminds me a little bit of Assassin's Creed, where I think it's got like this family line of these people that were the cursed or that were saved from the curse by praying to whoever the gods were at the beginning. Where we're seeing another character now, and I'm like, is this? It obviously was a long time ago. We opened up 3800 BC. Now we're dealing with, I guess this is ancient Rome, judging by the guys that are stabbing everybody. So I'm like, is this another family member? And we get this character in here. Again, I love the color here, where it's just kind of monochromatic, these blues going on. And this character, he wants to stay, he wants to die with his family. And I talked earlier about the water and that particle effect. This is where we get to the fire. Look at that, man. That looks so damn good. It's awesome. Like, I love this. I could look at this for I did look at this as reading it for longer than I think most people would have. It's just, it looks so cool. So this dude shows up. I don't know if he's like Olam that was referenced at the beginning, but he's Isham, and he basically chooses the guy we were just looking at. And he's like, no, I want to die with my family tomorrow. And he's like, no, you've been chosen to do something else. And he's like, no. And he's on the ground like, no. And so he blows up in the fire.
Comes out,
Well, he ends up in the ocean, and he comes out of the ocean. He's like, no, in the ocean there. And then all of his family's over here just getting wasted by these. That's Roman soldiers, right? The outfits?
Yeah. Those are.
The red mohawks. So they're stabbing everybody. And when do they get to the final guy, who I can't tell if this guy is him, like if he's looking at himself, or if it is a different person, or if he takes over the guy's body or what. This is a little confusing. So he's like, no, and there's a guy standing here, and they all stab him, and he doesn't die. He's like, we're not worthy. All are worthy. And then he blows up in this giant fireball and takes out all the dudes. I mean, that's so damn cool. And the text here too popping out.
Well, it's like she took his. I think it's.
But it's.
I don't think it's the one not on fire. The one in the water, I think, is the girl taking the form of the guy.
Oh yeah.
Looking at himself. Maybe. Again, this is where I'm just like, I'm really confused, but I'm like, I can't wait to figure out what the hell's going on so I can come back and read this and be like, oh, that's what was happening.
Yeah, like, is he turning in? This is, I think, this is what you're referring to. Yeah, I'm confused too.
So I think, if you could allow me to interpret
Damon.
I believe that as soon as her life is easy, when she's sleeping, right? She becomes a man, but as soon as it starts getting difficult and she's on fire, suddenly she's a woman again and gets to avoid any.
I think you got it.
I think that's exactly. I think what Michael Bancroft is actually. This is actually an anti-woman story. Is what Michael Bancroft is really saying.
And then I guess scroll to the bottom.
Well, who's this dude she sees in the water? Is this the guy that she just was seeing? So there's this whole sequence, and then down here there's like this dude popping out of the water. She goes, "Oh God." And then the water's like, yo, let's go, and blasts her.
Dude,
She's
it's such a cool.
Poor girl forgot to put some pants on. And this is the scene that is we saw in the cover, but again a little bit different, where she shows up in the city and then is like whoo and uses that push power and blows up the cars.
That's not the cover.
This poor lady's gonna be a chiropractor.
Stupid complaint.
What a stupid person. What?
I thought it came across way worse than I meant. I meant it to be like a mild, confusing whatever, but
so because the lightning struck 2 panels too early.
It's her body position in the front on the cover. She is it's the body.
No, I should have just traced the same image and put it on the cover instead of.
Well, I would have saved him some time. And all right, it's gonna load. Anyways, it gets to the end there, and whenever
no one else will ever make that critique. I promise you.
I haven't been reading comics for forever and ever, so I didn't know if this was a common thing or not, but
having a different
clearly
color?
Not. Never again. Lesson learned. Apologies. And then we got Matt Damon. He's down here. So in reality now, he sees her. Yeah, Matt Damon. So she's wet and laid out in the road
through a window, though.
He's back there. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Amber through a window.
Look again. I have no idea what's going on with these powers. It could be like.
Her wet t-shirt.
Anyways, chill on the gooning, Coleman. All right, Jesus.
I'm just offering.
No,
logically, that's what would be happening.
Oh my god. Anyways, that's why I keep on mentioning how I'm like, yeah, I'm very confused, but in probably the best way possible, because it just reads off of this like really confusing like sci-fi story where it's like it's not till you're able to get to the end where you can start to put the pieces in place, you know, of what's actually going on.
Or like getting hit by a bolt of lightning, or getting hit by a wave and then transition to a bolt of lightning should not work, but through the visuals and just the language, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, but it's like, yeah, that sequence of events probably makes sense. I don't know what he did, but I'm like, yeah, man, I get it. She'd get, yeah. But I don't, but I do. It's the right amount of confusing. And there's a lot of, I'm going to call it dream slop. There's a lot of dream slop out there where they're like, it's like a dream.
What is this dream slop?
But this was not.
You're still upset over Twilight, aren't you?
I've never watched Twilight.
What was upsetting about Twilight?
The final movie.
You've seen Twilight?
Oh, the final movie.
I've only seen the final movie. It was forced on a date.
The last two are there's some cool fight scenes in the final two, but the story outside of that is weird.
Man, why did you watched it because of?
I was forced on a date. I was taking a grenade.
No, dude. In terms of like dumb romantic movies, some girl could take you to see. Twilight was actually not bad.
I didn't want to be there at all, and I hadn't seen any of the movies leading up to it.
Would you rather see like Matthew McConaughey as like the love interest, or like Ashley Greene and?
I don't know, man. I'd rather just watch what I want
vampires
to watch.
fighting.
All right, so the Lucent better than Twilight. Are we in agreement?
Officially confirmed. Lucent better than Twilight.
I'm sure that's
you heard it here, guys.
Boys, great job.
No, definitely recommend. And you know, if you want to, even if you haven't got the second one, the book that's on the campaign right now is a prequel, which I bought it. I still haven't read the second one.
Yeah,
kind of wait until it goes up on Global Comics because I gotta save money somehow.
Yeah.
It's just too many comics.
Although I will say, Bancroft was just saying. I know Vaughn, you had something similar going on with your book, that shipping costs, at least with Bancroft, I don't know if it's if you do an order right now, or if you order once and then do a second order, but you can save on shipping the second time around. The rates were really reduced. And Vaughn, you said something about that for Phenomenova 3 too, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be a lot less, but it's a significant enough chunk less.
If you order enough comics, anything, even if it's like $1, that adds up over time. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's $3 less for shipping this time around, which is
nice. That's huge.
Yeah. So I do. Before we wrap up this review, I think I wrote down 2 movies that this reminded me of besides Push. Chronicles.
Yep.
Anybody watch that movie?
I saw Chronicle. I don't know about Chronicles, but
maybe it was Chronicle. It's the one where they get the superpowers of the meteorite. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that the one they said was kind of like Fantastic Four or something? It was supposed to be like that, like a modern version, but it was like found footage. It was the Friends. Am I wrong?
Yeah, and their psychic powers develop over time. Yeah, so it kind of gave me those vibes, and also Hellboy. Anybody? That also goes to Guillermo del Toro as well. But
yes.
The look of it, I feel like the tone of it to me didn't scream Hellboy. But like the style of it too.
Well, yeah, there's no like demons and stuff like that, but like the style is where I'm kind of going for.
Now, one thing I want to, you know, what it reminded me of a bit as soon as he started moving, The Matrix. Reminded me of The Matrix with the dreamlike logic. You guys didn't see that? I thought you were going to say that. It jumped the second time around. The Matrix really jumped out. The way he's moving, the way Trinity moves around.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, I get that.
No,
yeah.
I get it. The one, she's the Lucent. She's the one. Yeah. 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 I don't know. More computers. This one's very uncomputery. Anyways. All right. Do we have anything else to say? I think we all agree this is a great comic, and I recommend it.
Both of these were good.
Yeah. I
nice.
kind of like to have things to criticize, and it's kind of hard to find things to criticize.
Because I didn't want to just glaze. I didn't want to just glaze these because I'm like, I really like Band of the Crow. Let's see how I feel about the Lucent. Again, was not crazy about the opening, but otherwise, really, really, really good. I'm like better than I remembered it. Like I liked it, but I'm like I really liked it this time.
Yeah. I never asked you to do the roundup for this, did I?
No, but I can read it right now if you want.
I don't want
it.
It's too late.
When dreams and reality collide, a young woman is thrust into the middle of an ancient conflict. That's it.
Ooh.
Oh, see, we don't see the ancient, so that's like must be what the series is going to be about, but we don't really see that in.
See, okay, if time travel's involved with this one,
then
I'd
you're
kind of be okay with that. No, I'd be okay with that. Because I don't feel like it's going to be. I don't feel like it's going to be her body transferring. I think it's going to be her mind transferring throughout
What's
ages or something like that.
In the realm of dream.
The realm of dreams, yeah. But okay, I think that concludes our reviews for those two comics. I really enjoy talking about comics, and it's kind of why I do this, just to have some fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoy our banter. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But if you guys want to join in, follow me on Twitter. I'll try to be more like provide information like ahead of time, because I'm also open for like anyone who wants to come and join the reviews or to talk about the comics. But yeah, I need to tell people that I'm planning on doing it in the first place. But yeah, besides that, I have no clips I can play. I don't know. StreamYard, I guess, is saying if you have the free one, you can't do shit. So fuck you. Fuck, goddamn! I keep going between streaming platforms. I'm like, oh, this one's screwing me this way. This one's screwing me this way. How many different ways can I get screwed? Fuck. Anyways, y'all have a good night. Till next time.
Wakanda.